and watch as usual. So welcome everybody. I hope summer has been treating you all well. Oh, I just got an email from Kim, so I'm going to send her the link very quickly. But I wanted to welcome you here to this go-to meeting. Thank you all for joining us. And we do have some news to share. JL is going to get started, and then I'm going to pick up. We'll be sort of talking back and forth, but anytime you have questions, let us know, and we can go ahead and get started. And Kim is just getting ready to log in, so I'm going to email her that link right now. So forgive me as I'm looking to the side to do that for Kim.
So I am here today to talk to you about our, as we continue to morph, liaison project. And the first news is a little bit sad. The second news is not quite as sad. In fact, we feel like at the end of the meeting you'll kind of have a greater understanding. But the first news is that our Gear Up funding, which has funded the liaison project as we know it, ends September 30th of this year. And it is not going to be renewed. I do believe OCHI is writing a new grant, but that's not our project, and so I can't say that there will be funding again eventually, but it wouldn't be until after the grant was accepted. So that's the sad news. So the liaison project, as we have known it, is ending, which means that if you have not, if you've spent out your contract, most of you contracted with us for a specific amount for specific projects, that there is no more funding to cover the September mass meeting. For those of you that have still some funding left, and the intent was you're going to go to the September mass meeting, that you would have that funding available through September 30th. So that's the sad news, and we're going to save, what we'd like to do is let Chrissy move on to some not so sad news, and then we will answer any or all questions that you have following our discussion here first. So Chrissy, you want to take it over?
Sure. So the not so sad news is, as we realize this, ending of the funding from the Gear Up, we've been thinking about ways to keep you in the loop and to keep your important work going, even for your own, some of you work for other projects in OPI, and one thing that we can offer is sort of a project by project basis. And if you've got work that you're doing that we've maybe supported in the past or moving forward that really seems to tie into liaison work, in supporting schools in your areas or regions, maybe schools that aren't part of a curriculum consortium that you want to reach out and try to touch those schools, those sort of projects on a project by project basis, we have partners that we can try to work with and try to get some of those projects up and running. So that's sort of the good news, is that it's becoming a little more flexible to what needs you see and supporting work that you're already doing, and that can be at sort of a project by project basis, and directly touching base with me to work on that and to maybe get some of those ideas moving forward. And the other part is we still want to offer these monthly go-to meetings and share our CSI update newsletter with you. We want to offer that still to you as that first Tuesday of every month, logging in, getting the updated information here from us at Content Standards and Instruction here at OPI, just to keep you informed and see how that helps to inform what other work that you are doing as well. So we want to offer that. We'll still have that meeting available. We'll still have our update available, and we'll keep that line of communication really open for you on your as needed and as wanted basis as well.
So as you're aware, we have definitely expanded our work two ways. One, with finally that we could move forward on standards. As you're aware, we have adopted, Montana has adopted new art standards and new health and PE standards, and the science standards. The public the hearing for the Public Board of Education is tomorrow from 10 to 11, and then the decision of whether those standards will be adopted will be at the September meeting in Bozeman, which I think is like the 14th or 15th. And because of that, there are more Gear Up Gear Up, I'm sorry, that's on my mind. I'm just learning, Pat. We're supposed to look at the camera, not at the, I'm looking at you talking over here and thinking, oh no, it's the camera. we have set up a series of go-to meetings for all curriculum people that are working out in the field, people that are working in schools that want to know how do we get prepared to implement these new sets of standards effectively July 2017. And we will be doing a series of go-to meetings for the arts. We'll be doing a series of go-to meetings for the health and PE, and we'll be doing a series of go-to meetings for science. And so part of having monthly meetings with us is you'll be always in the know of all the additional go-to meetings that are available to you if it pertains to the work you're doing, or even if it doesn't, may interest you. We have another area that we expanded last year, and that is I go to the MTASCD meetings, the Montana group of curriculum directors, and I'm scheduled as a placeholder to talk about in a longer venue the kinds of things we talk about in our go-to meeting, and that is what would be pertinent to curriculum directors in knowing about the 3 new sets of standards, and in the event that we're starting on additional work in other sets of standards. So if you're not a member of the Montana ASCD, you either should become one, or I know you would be welcome at their meetings. And if you can't physically attend the meetings, and I'll be happy to send you the schedule of where they occur in different places in the state, there are 4 quarterly meetings, they too have an option for people that cannot attend face-to-face that you can attend as a go-to meeting, and so you can get additional information through there. And our last project, which all of you are aware of, is that in addition to building the liaisons in each region, we've really distinctively attempted to build what we call teacher leadership projects. And these are teacher leaders in regions who are not the kind of teacher leadership within a school that they just are significantly working either to become sort of a leader within their own peer group, but these are leaders who are trained to be able to provide high-quality professional learning in their content area within their region. And in every case of the maps you're going to see now, these are people that if you contact them, and they're all practicing teachers, they all have schedules where they're in the classroom, but they certainly are available to schools and to curriculum people to provide workshops when it can work out, and they can also provide sort of mentoring within schools and regions. So I'm going to have Christy show you the map so you can see how much we've grown these projects.
So the map that you see on the screen in front of you is the teacher leader in the arts, and this is the second year of this program. Was this past summer they did their second summer institute, and we had teacher leader in the arts come back for the second summer and actually act as teachers and sort of mentor teachers for the current cohort of teacher leader in the arts. And in this summer's program, the teacher leaders really delved into the new art standards, and so that they're really prepared to sort of share out information on the new Montana art standards. And this, as you can see, they cover a wide range. One of these dots, I think, Catherine, is represents you, because I know you have a part of this in the Montana teacher leader in the arts. But these are just, you can see throughout the regions of Montana, we have teachers already understanding the new standards, how to integrate them into the classrooms and across curricular areas. In our first newsletter that will be coming out next week, we'll have their contact information. So if you hear of schools needing more information about the arts, we're going to have direct contact information from teacher leaders for that. So that's the arts map. Here is the Math Matters map to show you where Math Matters has touched across the state. Hopefully that will click in here in a second. My audience view doesn't always catch up. But you can just see the wide range, again, around the state where we're touching teachers and preparing teacher leaders in maths as well. And do you have something to say about math?
Well, I'll wait till you do science. Okay. So keep in mind, there are several of you that are working closely in this project in some way, and you're aware that we've expanded. It's now, this coming year, it will be not only the face-to-face meetings, but there'll be follow-up go-to meetings with teachers that do attend those. and we've expanded the number of places that we're going. So we'll provide that information in the newsletter as well.
And then for science, we have some MPress leadership, and this was a bit of an older map. I think JL has a little more information on the science than I do, but we've just increased the teacher leaders in MPress.
Right.
So this would actually have a little more coverage.
So these are teachers that have been working with this science grant, working through Montana Tech and MSU Billings, has online courses which, like the stream, are going to move to the hub that teachers can take. But in addition, they created this course set that you're looking at, who are willing and able to do. In fact, I know, Kim, you're going to be doing one soon, to do very intentional, long kind of workshop and ongoing training within regions, and they all are eager to do that. We've expanded it. This summer we created a new project called MSP Lead, so it takes 20 of the strongest stream, which is our math projects, teachers that have been working in this, and Pat can probably tell you more about that, and 20 of the MPress teachers, and these people are, so we now have 40 of, we have additional MPress people up in the parts of Montana that you see missing, because we wanted to make sure we pick those up, and we'll be providing you information.
All right, I'm trying to turn off my screen and turn it on again. Sheila said it looked like it was still waiting for the arts. Oh, there it is. Now it's caught up.
For the science.
For now, we caught up to the science.
Yeah. So you can see what I'm saying is there are some of those that are purple went into the MSP Lead project, and then we added additional ones to make sure that the top core, the Highline corridor, is covered with somebody who can provide training as well. Mm-hmm. So those teachers are available, and we have one more.
And if my screen, hopefully my screen will catch up to us. It looks like it might be now. And then this is the English Language Arts. This is the WELL program that you all knew about that I started last year and will be continuing this year. And these are some of our English Language Arts teacher leaders that we have getting into place. And this is my second year. I'll be working with them to really put them in place and make that database of English Language Arts teacher leaders, kind of modeling after the arts teacher leaders and the MSP Lead project as well. And you just see we're really trying to broaden and spread out and have teacher leaders available for resources, as resources in each of the regions.
Right.
And so I think, again, with the good news of sort of the good news part of the meeting today is that you can see the partnerships and leadership programs that we're building, and we're, for our funding purposes, these are where we work with partner divisions or partner project areas to get these projects up and running and going. And that comes back to you all with the current work that you're doing with other OPI projects and in your own work. It comes to send me, an email, say I have this idea for our project. Would this be something that we could support? And this is where we go to find, if we have that in the budget, if we have some partners that could work and can help build and tie into what you're doing. So we're building capacity across the state, and that's kind of where your role, has shifted a little bit to this year on a kind of project-by-project basis. But I think it's exciting, and there's a lot of really wonderful opportunities ahead for each of us.
Right. So that is all we have to say. So we know you have questions, so please feel free to ask us questions.
Yes, let us know questions.
This is Pat. On the project-to-project basis, are you talking about things like what I've been asking, when people have requested of me and they seem like they were entry-level, that kind of thing? Or is it more saying that we've seen a need someplace and could you get somebody to work with them? I'm not sure I understand what our role is now. I mean, it sounds like our role is ending September 30th, but as communication, which I really appreciate the opportunity to be up on all the standards, et cetera, I'm still a little confused about that project-by-project basis.
So, Pat, each one of you, I mean, many of you, we have some people that we wrote contracts to their organization, Diana Knutson and Eliza, and that was for the projects that they wanted to do regionally that would include, they could include inviting all the schools that even maybe perhaps didn't belong to their consortia, and that they could have access to that training. And then we had people that were distinctively working, Verge, and who else is doing Ed Ready? Somebody else was doing Ed Ready, or is it just Verge? And so,
I am. This is Sheila. I am also.
Sheila. All right. So you were working in that capacity, and you have that additional kind of project, and you're working with another organization. We have Verge, who is a consultant for MBI, and so she is also has that capacity to work within there. And Sheila with the multi-tiered systems of support. Correct? And I'm naming all the OPI related ones. And I've talked to Susan about, in the case of Verge, your role in multi-tiered systems of support, and in MBI, you know, that we would talk, if you are interested in continuing with going to a mass meeting, or if you have a project, and I don't know, I can't remember your specific contracts, but that you would talk to Susan and me about that, because maybe we can work it out. You see, because there's funding in a different area, not from Gear Up, that we can work something out. So it's going to depend on each one of you, but we're certainly, Pat, in your case with mathematics, you are a significant leader in mathematics for the state. And I was going to say the other area that has come up out of these sort of teacher leaderships is the math people have now a summit annually, which Pat is a part of. And now we're creating an arts summit, which will begin, and we hope will be annually, that will be taking place on September 23rd and 24th. And so it seems to me, Pat, that within the context of the many organizations you work with, that you could be very specific in talking to me and Jake about your ideas, and seeing what we could, where you see need and where we see need, and maybe working something out. So it's almost going to be, for the first time, where you actually get to work very particularly to what the needs are that you're seeing, and where your capacity is, because you have this expertise that is significant in a single area or in multiple areas. Some of you are covering the gamut, and so that's why we said, why don't we let you each contact us and talk about it, because you know I'm very good about trying to work things out and see if we can find what we know should continue or what we should expand. So if you want to be part of that, absolutely. It's going to be wonderful. We'll figure it out. All right?
Okay. Yeah, and I'm involved. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, don't be discouraged. Just realize that Gear Up funding funds a couple of our personnel. So there's several of us that have like, oh, wow, all right, well, this is ending, so what do we do? You know, so, and I'm happy to say we're all going to be staying. So you just have to say, don't worry, we'll figure it out. It's just not going to be the way before, where we had that wonderful support for 5 years that we could just count on. But we'll work it out. I mean, goodness gracious. Believe it or not, things work out. I grew up in a big family. They do. So, other questions?
I have a question, yes. As far as the mass meeting, the first mass meeting that we all have coming up, so you said that some people have contracts that go through September. I'm not really sure if that includes me or not. Am I supposed to go to this mass meeting and then just let them know, or is this something we would just share with the president of our mass through an email or something like that?
You know, and that's a great question, because there are some, I think some people, depending on how their budget was written, there may be some money left to support that September mass, but I'm not, so what I think I should do today is look up the contracts and see what money is left for each of you before September 30th, to see if there is money to support that mass meeting for September 30th, at least through the same payout. But, you know, so I have to double check on that one, Verge.
Okay.
But I can let you know.
Yeah, if you can let me know, because it would be nice to at least be able to share with our, the superintendents that we've been involved with for a couple of years, and let them know that even though, the Liaison project itself is kind of fading out a little bit, that we're still here if they, you know, for instance, if I have a superintendent who's really in dire need of training in math, you know, then I can keep that communication open and then be able to share with them, or to share all of the CSI newsletter and the upcoming professional developments and stuff. I think they really appreciate that, just having somebody that kind of remind them this is out there and it's available, and you know, so kind of let me know where we are with that, because at the very least, and in all honesty, even if I wasn't getting paid for it, I'd probably continue to send an email to the Mass president every month and just let him know about the upcoming, you know, just remind him about upcoming professional development and stuff, because I think a lot of us have had, you know, a lot of buy-in with these groups of superintendents, and you feel almost kind of like you're leaving them, and I don't like that feeling.
Well, and I would honestly say, and that's what I'm saying, each one of you, it's kind of individually where you have had other support. So in your case, because of MBI, and I think, Virg, in your case, and Sheila for multi-tiered systems of support, I really don't want you to end your role, that significant communication role you have with superintendents. I don't want any of you to. So that's why I'm saying if we can figure it out individually, and it may be that it will be through a different funding source, because I'm not sure, Virg, were you a temp through MBI? Because we also, in OPI, we can no longer have temp employees, so we've had to change all that. A couple of you were affected by that. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Yeah, and I don't remember. I know I went from contract. I'm not contracted anymore. I went to, would it be like temporary seasonal or temporary part-time or something like that. I know I'm limited to a certain amount of days per fiscal year.
Well, you went
Sheila, maybe you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are temporary employees because I'm MBI and MTSS, and we are considered temporary employees. So we are limited. We don't have that letter anymore where we get fired for that month or whatever. Instead, we are just limited to 90 days a year.
Right. So so they changed it maybe to short term, maybe. I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is OPI also had some changes in how we could do business with people, and one of them was the temps. And so for me, any temps I had to change in either to a contract. I don't know if even we could do contracts. I think it was short term or something else, doing through an organization. They're fine with us contracting through an organization, and that's why Sheila or Eliza and Kim, that one isn't so complicated. Mm-hmm. So, but the others, I think we can work out with if you're working with some other group, that we can work it out through either an organization. Pat, in your case, that maybe we can do something through MTCM, or, we'll figure it out. We'll just figure it out. But
and you're right, that is short-term employee is what Virgin they are, not temp. It is short-term.
Yeah, and so that's part of the change that all the divisions, those of you that work for different divisions, would be feeling that something, oh my gosh, something changed here, and that's why. Yeah. All right, so that's why it's not that we're trying to do, like, separate you. I mean, ideally, I would like you to be able to go to mass meetings and Virg. I think that I think we'll try to figure it out so that those of you that have been here a long term with your, well, every one of you has, with your superintendents, I think they want you there. Mm-hmm. Eliza goes with me to mine, and I'm hoping that that will still work out, because we share so much of the same information and other information that validates a lot of the good work. So,
well, JL, are the OPI liaisons still going to be heading to the mass meetings?
Well, that's why we want you to call us, so we can see what we can work out, if we can work something out. Because if you feel strongly about this, and I know that all of you do, then we'll see what we can work out. But it's going to be so distinctly different, whereas in the past it's just pretty much, we have this money, okay, we can do it as a temp, we can do it as an individual contract, or in the cases where you can do an individual contract, we can do it through the organization. Well, now we're being told the organization is preferred, the temps are out, so you see.
I think you misunderstood me. Yeah, I was asking if the OPI representative,
The
maybe
rep.
that's the better word.
Gotcha.
Are
Okay.
they still going?
Yes, and in fact, Pat, I'm glad you brought up that
Yeah.
question, because one thing that I think that we will do is the content standards and instruction newsletter that we sent out with you all last year. We're going to make sure that the reps have that in their packet going out, so that it just goes to them. We're hoping that that will work out. We haven't quite gotten that far yet on our end here, but that's our we're hopefully that will happen, so that they will continue to get this sort of teaching and learning update and standards update that I believe that all the superintendents have found valuable.
Right. But in the event that you still want to do that or go, you would know that you would know it would be coming in with a, because I always take it for Eliza, because I'm a rep, right? So that, but she's the one that does the talking. I will add in. But
well, I know that. I think Patty Muir is no longer going to be doing the South Central, so I think that they would be having a new person anyway, and maybe they can establish. Because I think she told them goodbye at the last meeting.
Who was it?
Patty Muir.
Yeah, probably because Teams is really taking over her life, I'm thinking.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
She said her professional life is crazy.
Very busy.
So.
We don't know. We'll know.
Yeah.
We'll know on that. We have our first mass rep meeting next week, or no, tomorrow. So we will know. I can't tell you who they are because I don't know yet.
Okay.
I know I'm going to continue mine. I know that Verge. I know that Colay is going to continue at Western, and I know that Christy is going to continue. You're kind of alternating.
Yeah, I alternate with Diana, and I have had a good alternating relationship up in the North Central, but also I think Dick Treerice will still be going up there too, and he, on occasion when one of us couldn't make it, he's been great sharing out that information, so we have that relationship, and we're going to try to build that, through the OPI reps a little bit as well. So, are there any other questions?
Christy, this is Diana.
Hi, Diana. Oh, you're getting a little feedback.
I'm good. Do you have a list of the science, ELA, and math teacher leaders?
We are developing that for sure.
Okay.
And so we have the arts one that will come out in this next update, so you will get that in the next week.
Right.
And then for science,
we have that list right now. The ones that are the originals. I think they are on the MPress site, the website, but we can get that to you when we do if you're interested in getting a monthly, having us do the monthly go-to meeting for those of you that are interested, we will provide it then.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
Well, ELA. Okay. Anything else, anybody?
I'm looking forward to speaking with you, Christy, when we actually have time for a phone call. I've got lots of questions, but mostly on a personal level. So.
No worries.
Yeah, we know that about a couple of you, especially I know where we were talking about the temp part. So that's why we thought instead of making you have to have that conversation with the whole group, just call us and we'll figure some things, okay? Because
sounds good.
But we want to let everybody know that we're not going to forget you. We'll continue to have meetings, this kind of meeting. We'll continue to invite you to everything that's there, and where we can, we'll work out a project with you if you're interested. And if that includes continuing with the math, that's good for us.
Right.
All right.
So you all know how to reach me, so just reach out with an email, a phone call. We can schedule a time to talk and keep moving forward. And any questions you have, don't hesitate to reach out.
Right, and you'll send a meeting notice for a
go-to I'll send a meeting notice for a go-to meeting, and also keep you up to date with the latest update just for your information, and share out as you see fit.
Thank you.
Well, before
that sounds great. Thanks, you guys.
Well,
thanks, guys.
Hey, and before you leave, I just want to say that you have significantly impacted the state, and don't ever doubt that it took the passion of the 9 regional people that helped do where we are today. And that's why we don't want to let you go. So as soon as funding shows itself to us, we will see what we can do.
Well, thank you for that.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dale.
Thank you.
That means a lot.
I can't say enough, but thank you very much for all those miles on the road.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you to everybody. I will put the recording of this on our Liaison's website and send out a link to that. I mean, almost all of us were here, but just in case you have anything to review or someone who wasn't here, or Kim, I think you popped in a little late, so you can catch the first part of that. So
Thank you.
good to see you all.
Yes. Travel
Thanks.
wherever you
Bye.
are. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.